Hello everybody. This video I am going to talk about load flow analysis. Other name is power flow analysis. Without load flow, you cannot solve any power system. It is a part of power system analysis because it only gives you the line parameters: real power injected, reactive power injected, voltage magnitude, and load angle. This video we are going to see importance of load flow analysis, classifications of buses, power flow equation. What are the importance of load flow analysis? The main information obtained from load flow studies are voltage magnitude, voltage angle, phase angle, real power injected, and reactive power injected. It is also gives us the initial conditions of the system. The load flow analysis is essential for best operation of existing power system and for planning the future expansion of the system. It is also essential for design a new power system. You want to design a new power system means the bus voltage, load angle, power flow through the transmission lines must be known. For that case, the only way to find by using this analysis. The load flow studies gives us solution for power system network under steady state condition. In our particular operating conditions, it gives the solution of the power system network. The solutions are voltage magnitude, voltage phase angle, real power injected, and reactive power injected. The load flow analysis generally requires some steps. 4 steps are the representation of the system by single line diagram. Then determine the impedance diagram using the information in the single line diagram. Then form a network equation. Then solve the network equation. Then obtain the solution of the network equation. The equation is very simple, means you solve this equation by substitution method or matrix method, find the answer. But the power system is a complex network. The equation obtained are the power flow equations are non-linear equations. So the iterative method only gives the solution of these equations. That's are briefly discussed later. Now let's see the buses in the power system. The previous class we discussed about buses. Here the incoming lines and the outgoing lines are connected at the bus. Bus is a node. Here the voltage ratings are constant. Here the classifications of buses. The buses are mainly classified into 3 types: generator bus, load bus, and slack bus. The another name of slack bus is swing bus or reference bus. First of all, what is generator bus? Generator bus means the real power and magnitude of voltages are specified. The load flow equation can be solved to find the reactive power and the phase angle of voltage. That bus is called generator bus. In power system, only 15% of buses are generator bus generally. Then second one is the load bus. Load bus is 85% of buses are generally load buses in a power system. What is load bus? The bus is called load bus when real and reactive power components, that is P and Q, are specified. The load flow equation can be solved to find the magnitude of voltage and phase angle of voltage. In a load bus, voltage is allowed to be vary within a permissible limit of plus or minus 5%. The voltage magnitude value is allowable to the tolerance value plus or minus 5%. Then what is slack bus or swing bus or reference bus? See, in a power system, only one bus is the slack bus. We take one of the generator bus. Slack bus is nothing. See, one of the generator bus is taken as the slack bus. The power system, the entire power system has one bus is the slack bus. Here in slack bus, the magnitude of voltage and the voltage, phase angle of voltage are specified. The real power injection and reactive power injected to be calculated. Then what is the need for slack bus? This I already told. This is a one generator bus. Without the slack bus, you cannot solve this power system problem. The error may occur. You take one of the buses, the slack bus. Now, what's the need for slack bus? The need for slack bus is here only we calculate the bus voltages and real power and reactive power, etc. You not consider the transmission line and transformer, etc. The line losses. For calculating the transmission line losses, we required one bus as the reference bus. In power system problem, we assume one generator bus as slack bus, at which power generation is not pre-specified. After the power flow problem has been solved, the difference between the total specified real power going into the system at all other buses and the total power consumed by the load plus I square all loss are assumed to be slack bus. A power system total generation and total loads are calculated. Then subtract from total generation and total load, you get the real power losses. For that calculation, you require one bus as the slack bus for calculating the transmission line losses. It is needed to account for transmission line losses. Now let's see the power flow equation. Now let's consider one ith bus. One general bus name is I. Consider here the bus, the generator and the loads are connected. The apparent power for the ith bus, net power injected to the ith bus is generated apparent power minus demand apparent power. The generated power is PGI plus JQGI. Then demand, low demand PDI plus JQDI. The generation minus the low demand is the net injected power in this bus. Here substitute PGI minus JQGI minus this value, you get the real part PGI minus PDI plus J into QGI minus QDI. This PGI is taken as the real power injected at the bus number I. Then this term is denoted as the reactive power injected as the bus I. Then the apparent power is generally denoted as VI into IA star. That is, current lags the voltage by an angle of theta. The lagging angle is indicated in a negative sign, that is indicated in a star symbol. VI minus a conjugate of the current value. Okay, then here in both sides take conjugates. The VA, IA star, the whole star is equal to PI plus JQI, the whole star. Here inside is multiply VA star into IA. The conjugate cancel. Then the conjugate of this one is minus. This taken as this as the equation 1. This is our first step. Then second step, consider the two bus system. Here bus number 1, this is bus number 2. The bus voltage is V1. Here the second bus voltage is V2. Here the current entering into the bus number is I1. The current entering into bus number 2 is I2. The transmission line is connected between bus number 1 and 2. The transmission line admittance is Y12. The shunt component line charging admittance of the transmission line is Y10 and Y20. This is concentrated at bus number 1. Half of the term is concentrated at bus number 1. The remaining half is concentrated as bus near to bus number 2. here applying node analysis, write the nodal equations. Here the I1 current is equal to V1 minus V2 into Y12 plus V1 into Y10. Then multiply and simplify, you get I1 is equal to Y12 minus Y10 V1 plus Y10 into V2. It's taken as equation number 2. Then similarly here applying node equation, V2 minus V1 into Y12 plus V2 into Y20 is equal to minus Y12 V1 plus Y21 plus Y20 into V2. It's taken as equation number 3. That is simple Ohm's law formula. I is equal to V divided by V into Y. P by Z. 1 by Z is Y. Say node equations. These are node equations. Right. Now let's write this equation in matrix form. The current equations, the first and second equations is in matrix form like this. Here generally this matrix form equation for ith bus is IIC plus V1 into YI2 into V2 plus etc. etc. Last bus is YII into Vn. Last bus Yin into Vn. This is simply write this summation of j is equal to 1 to n Yij into Vj. It's taken as fourth equation. Then substitute this equation 4 in equation number 1. This equation substitute. The equation 1 is Vi star into Ia is equal to Pi minus Jqi. I write this equation here. This substitute instead of I substitute this value. You get this one, equation number 5. Here, this Vi vector, Yij, then Vj vectors are in polar form and rectangular form. The polar form means magnitude as well as angle. Vi is in polar form, Vi magnitude of V, mod Vi angle delta I. Magnitude Vi star is equal to magnitude of Vi angle minus delta I. Yij is equal to magnitude of Yij and angle of theta ij. Then similarly Vj is equal to mod Vj angle delta j. These are in polar form. That can be represented as in rectangular form. Rectangular form, suppose A angle alpha means in rectangular form A cos alpha plus A sin alpha. Similarly, I expand this polar form as in the rectangular form. Then substitute this polar form terms in equation number 5. Here in equation number 5, the first term is Vi star. Vi star is equal to Vi angle minus delta I. I substitute here. Then second term Yij. Yij, that is magnitude of Yij angle theta I. We substitute the second term. Then third term Vj. Vj means magnitude of Pj angle delta j. Substitute third term. Then arrange the magnitudes first, then angle second. This equation to summation j is equal to 1 to n Vi Yij Vj angle theta ij plus delta j minus delta I. The above equation, this equation is called polar form of power flow equation. Now let's write this equation. This is also in polar form. I write this as in the rectangular form. You take this is A, this one is B, means the rectangular form is A cos alpha plus A sin alpha. Similarly, here I write this equation. Next, here in the place of A, Vi Yij Vj. Then cos of alpha in the place of alpha, theta ij plus delta j minus delta j. Then here also in the place of A, the magnitude, in the place of alpha, the angle theta ij plus delta j minus delta I. Then here real and reactive part. Then real part, Pi is equal to this term, real part. Summation j is equal to 1 to n Vi, Yij, Vj cos of theta ij plus delta j minus delta I. Then equating the imaginary term, the imaginary term contains minus, then I put minus first, minus summation j is equal to 1 to n Vi, Yij, Vj sine of theta ij plus delta j minus delta I. The above equation Pi and Qi are called general form of load flow equation. These equations are very important for find the power flow solutions. The power flow equations are nonlinear equation, so it's required a mathematical method to solve the problem. Here I use the numerical methods, the Gauss-Seidel methods, Newton-Raphson methods, and fast decoupled load flow methods. These three methods are important methods to give the solutions of the power system network. Next class, we are going to see the Gauss-Seidel load flow